Scorpio, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's get started and see what messages we have for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Keeping in mind that these are general readings and may not resonate for everyone. Make sure to check out your other placements to get all of the messages. You could have messages in those readings as well. Okay, my friends, let's get started for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. What is the energy around the week ahead for Scorpio? Okay. Scorpio. Okay. Bottom of the deck is to be fair. Okay, let's see. What messages do we have? Okay, truth be told, imagine. Coming through in the reverse, message in a bottle, go the distance, fork in the road, and co-create. Okay, so Scorpio, this is interesting. This makes me feel like you have been sort of imagining or envisioning things in a way where you're sort of focused on maybe how things aren't going well, or you're focusing on lack. You're sort of at a place here when I see this Imagine card in reverse that you could sort of be succumbing to some illusions around lack. Mostly this is sort of this idea that you may be sort of focusing on how things that you hoped or imagined would be a certain way are not the way you imagined or hoped, and then that creates a sense of fear. So you're really being guided here to envision something new, something creating, something that is an image sort of that goes through your mind of something positive. Recreate it so that it's not so fearful, because it's almost like you're expecting bad news when I see these three cards together, the way they're positioned. It's like you're expecting to receive some bad news. And, it's interesting because I actually think that there could be something that you're anticipating, but for some reason you're convinced it's going to go into the direction of a negative or a bad news sort of place, when really it might just be that something big is changing, something big is coming to light that's going to sort of require a decision from you. It might not, you might be catastrophizing something because of the level of energy you're sensing. Like it could really feel like the anticipation could almost feel like anxiety when I look at this. And yet, I actually think that this is going to be something that tells you something important, something for your highest good. Like this is something that's going to be bringing in some honest and some clarity, some honesty, some clarity, some transparency. This is really something that will sort of be the truth. Like this cannot be denied. And I feel like seeing the message in the bottle right after it, which is the card that follows, you've got 14 and 15 here, that this is some kind of sort of don't miss the message. Like this is a message coming through a sign or a sort of a moment where you're really being guided to pay attention to symbols or, the sort of oracles, that synchronicities that you might experience, because that's going to tell you the truth about something that right now it's almost like you have this it's going to turn out bad sort of anticipation. It's interesting. You're really being guided. Look at this. You got card 13, 14, and 15. You're moving very close to something and you're being guided to go the distance on this. You're moving like one step after the other towards something right now. And it's real, it's true, and I feel like it's actually going to be justice. It's going to be very fair. It's going to be something that sets everything right. It's almost like it's going to be a resolution to something that might currently be in conflict. This is something to do with the laws of cause and effect. This has a mutual benefit. This is something where you move from being sort of being a bit static to doing. You're discovering something here. Like this energy really is an interesting one because it suggests that you're beginning to let go of something in exchange for something else. That you reap what you sow. There's a cause and effect. Something true is leading to the outcome. And I think you're concerned about that outcome, but actually it looks like there's going to be a point in the journey here where you get to make a decision about how to move forward. Because I feel like you're co-creating as you do this. This is something that you're manifesting every step you take, and you're being guided to keep going. There is a little fork in the road here, so it almost feels like at some point you're going to have to make a choice about something. And that might be, a decision that you have to consider the consequences, because we are dealing with a cause and effect situation here. So it's interesting. I think, you're starting out with a little bit of fear here. You're imagining things like worst case scenario, imagining things, but really it is the true situation coming to light here. Like something's getting resolved and you just have to go the distance and make a decision, because you are manifesting a fair outcome here. Very interesting first set of cards in your reading. Let's jump into the tarot cards and see if we can clarify some of this. This is very fascinating what's going on for you right now. Oh, look at that. See? This is bringing about a very new chapter for you, Scorpio. And it may be one that you're for some reason, you're feeling really worried about it. You're feeling like maybe you're feeling a little unprepared. Maybe you're feeling daunted by facing a truth. But there's the Death card. So this is very transformative and sudden. And Scorpio. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. One sec. No, I didn't. Okay. We're also seeing the King of Swords here. So again, you're really needing to be analytical, make a decision. You're going to have a decision to make. And it's almost like you need to be very strategic about this. But there's a sudden transition, a sudden transformation. You're moving into a new chapter suddenly based on a truth. And I feel like you're worried about it. But there's the Six of Wands on the bottom of the deck. I really think you're going to be successful here. You're manifesting an outcome based on the law of cause and effect. So there's been a cause. And now we're going to see what the effect is. Part of this has to do with sort of this decision point. I think it's to walk away from something. You have to choose the new path. That's what the choice is about. Interesting. So once you get to the point of the journey where it's time to make the decision, Scorpio, it's almost like you have to leave behind a set of emotions that no longer serve you. And it could be a set of experiences. It could be, for some of you, it could involve a relationship with an individual, but this could also just be sort of your own stuff. You're leaving your own stuff behind. Like you're going to travel light here. You know what I mean? Like you're leaving all this past baggage, all of these emotions that don't serve you anymore. You're leaving it all behind in the pursuit of something new, the truth. You're looking for balance. Something set this all in motion. Something set this all in motion. I would suggest maybe, I'm for some reason getting this idea of a couple of years ago, like 2 years ago, maybe this was all set in motion. And now it's going to balance out. And it's manifesting a result here. Yeah, there's Temperance coming through. So it's sort of bringing out something that will be in balance. It will be fair. It will match the cause, right? The effect and the cause are related here. And bottom of the deck is Justice. Isn't that interesting that Justice is on the bottom of that deck and To Be Fair is on the bottom of this deck? So whatever's going on here is just. This is a balanced outcome. This is something that makes everything even out. This is very interesting to see both of these cards on the bottom, because it couldn't be a stronger signal that things are about to sort of come into natural law. You know, it's almost like this idea of there's going to be some kind of balance struck that's it's like good karma, even though karma's not really, that's not really what karma is, but this sort of feels like that. Like it feels like things are going to get what's the word? The fair outcome. Like it's going to be a fair outcome. So, if you're listening to this and thinking, I'm not sure if there's anything here that relates to me, this might even just be that you can expect something that has been out of balance to come into balance very soon. Some natural law of order is happening here to create balance. And it's sort of going to be a time where there is this current situation that has sort of been needing to be looked at. And I can't help but feel like it's a current situation, but it's from the past. This is a situation, the seeds of this situation got planted in the past. And now it's going to get a chance to sort of be resolved. It feels like resolution. And it feels like it's going to be of mutual benefit, but that sort of looking at the consequences of this decision are important. It's very interesting, your reading this week. One question you might be wanting to ask yourself is sort of like, what would be a fair outcome? Like if you're listening to this reading and thinking, yeah, okay, I think I know what she's talking about with respect to myself. What would be a fair outcome? Because that could maybe be what you're expecting here, is what would be the fair outcome? What would be even in exchange? Do you know what I mean? Where would there be mutual gain for everyone involved? It's very interesting. This is going to be fair to everyone here. I feel like whoever's involved in this situation, everyone's going to feel valued and sort of like this was a mutually beneficial way to resolve a situation. Isn't that intriguing? Very specific for you, Scorpio. But it's going to be, I feel like not only is it going to be very balanced, but it's going to transform you. You're going to start something new here. This is going to take you back to sort of a place where you're about to initiate something for yourself. So the result for you is going to cause a new beginning. This is very interesting. Very balanced with temperance and justice and to be fair and wow, there's temperance again. Oh boy. It's time to sort of get into that vibe. Yeah, like you're coming from a place where there were losses and there was heartache and things taken really personally and taken to heart. And then there's the Magician, card 1. So it's like you're stepping into a time that is bringing sort of fairness after a lot of struggle. You know what I mean? Like things are starting to balance out here. And there's the Tower on the bottom of the deck reminding us of how turbulent it can be when everything changes. And there's the Fool. It's almost like we are being guided to pay attention to these cards because there's the Fool twice. And it just really feels like things are shifting here, Scorpio, quite dramatically for you, but in a fair, balanced way. Like there's nothing to fear here. You know, this is all going to lead to something. We see the 2 of Cups. We see the 3 of Wands. Very interesting. And I think again, like, yeah, there is a element of self-discovery here coming at a time where you might feel like, yeah, like a little burnt out actually. And things in the material world might be sort of slow moving right now, but I think that's all going to change. This is very interesting. You're going to start to see eye to eye and really achieve balance in some way here. And it all starts with the truth. There's the Queen of Swords now on the bottom. This whole reading started with truth be told. So something true is coming to light that's going to transform things here. And it's going to bring everything into balance where you didn't sense balance before. You may have sensed loss, heartache, heartbreak, separation, and this idea that things won't work out. You may have even been trying to control something. that you can't control, because the card you're getting now is surrender your desire to control people. Isn't that interesting? Being overly controlling. Now, I often take this card as it doesn't have to just be with people. It's just being controlling, like trying to control things that are outside of your control. It says being overly controlling can sabotage you. To be effective with your goals and achieving them, back off, regroup, and give the situation some breathing room. Bottom of the deck is surrender obsessive thinking. So whatever this is, it's been on your mind for sure. If you're obsessing about a person or a situation, turn the dilemma over to spirit. Doing so will help bring clarity or even solve the problem. So it's very interesting. It feels like for you this week, there is something that you need to sort of surrender thinking about, because it's all about to transform. And there's some truth coming to light that's going to make everything balanced and fair in a situation that feels like it's sort of the cause and effect of this situation began about 2 years ago, is what it feels like to me. And so take it as it resonates, my friends. I'm going to leave it there. I sure hope this reading has been helpful. If it has, please consider subscribing, liking, sharing, commenting. I appreciate your support on the channel so much. And as always, it's been a pleasure reading for you, and I look forward to doing it again soon and sending you so much love and light. Take care.